You spend your entire life working for this. You stress over it. You lose sleep over it. But what if I told you that this piece of paper is completely worthless? The money in your pocket is an illusion, a shared hallucination we all just agreed to. The system is designed to keep you confused. The system is to keep you confused. Today, tearing down the matrix. I'm going to show you what money actually is. If you don't understand the rules of this game, you will always be on the losing side. So, let's go back to the very beginning. Thousands of years ago, money didn't exist. If I had wheat and you had a cow, we bartered. But there was a massive problem. It's called the double coincidence of wants. What if I want your cow, but you don't want my wheat? Trade freezes. Trade freezes. Progress stops. Humanity needed a placeholder for value, something everyone wanted. So we started using shells, salt, and beads. This was the birth of money. But shells break and salt dissolves. Eventually, the world settled on precious metals, specifically gold and silver. Why? Because of physics and scarcity. Gold didn't rust, it could be melted down into coins, and most importantly, it was incredibly hard to mine. You couldn't just print it, but gold is heavy. Imagine trying to buy a house in gold coins today. It's dangerous to transport and difficult to store securely. So people started storing their gold in secure vaults. The vault owner would give them a paper receipt proving they owned that gold.
Instead of trading heavy gold, people started trading the paper receipts. This is the origin of modern paper money. It was a claim check.
For a long time, the paper in your wallet was literally backed by gold. You could walk into a bank and swap paper for metal. This was called the gold standard. It kept governments honest. They couldn't print more paper money than the gold they actually had in the vault. But governments always want to spend more than they have. Wars are expensive. Social programs are expensive. The gold standard became a problem.
In 1971, President Richard Nixon did something that changed the world forever. He temporarily suspended the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
That temporary measure became permanent. Overnight, money was no longer backed by anything physical. It became what we call fiat currency. Fiat is a Latin word that means let it be done. The only reason this paper has value today is because the government says it does, and because everyone else accepts it. It operates purely on faith. You trust the government, and the barista trusts you when you buy coffee. So if money isn't gold, and it's just paper or digital faith, what is its actual function? Think of money as a battery. You wake up, you go to work, you burn physical and mental calories. You are expending your life energy or precious time. Money is the tool you use to store that energy. You put your time into the battery so you can spend it later. When you buy a car, you aren't paying with money. You are paying with the months of your life it took to earn that money. But here is the devastating flaw in the modern fiat system. This battery leaks. Your stored life energy is constantly draining away. Because fiat currency isn't tied to gold, central banks can create an infinite amount of it with the literal push of a button. Think of the total money supply like a giant pizza. If there are 8 slices, each slice holds a lot of value. Think of it like a pizza. If the government prints trillions of new dollars, they are just cutting that exact same pizza into millions of microscopic slices. It doesn't create wealth. This is what inflation actually is. It is not prices going up. It is the purchasing power of your money going down. When they print more currency, they are silently stealing the stored time and energy out of your bank account without you even noticing. That's why your grandparents could buy a house for $10,000. And today, that barely covers a down payment on a car. This is the secret the ultra-wealthy understand, that the middle class does not. The wealthy know that cash is not wealth. If you leave your money sitting in a savings account earning 1%, while inflation is at 5%, you are actively losing wealth. Cash is like an ice cube melting in your hand. Its only true purpose is to be a temporary vehicle to move your energy. You must move that melting ice into assets that hold their shape, things they cannot print more of. Real estate, businesses, equities, commodities. But wait, it gets crazier. Who actually creates the money? You probably think the government prints it all. They don't. Most of the money in the economy is created by regular commercial banks. Let me explain a concept called fractional reserve banking. When you deposit $1,000, the bank doesn't keep it in the vault. They are legally allowed to lend out 90% of it. They lend $900 to someone buying a car. The dealership deposits that $900, and the next bank lends out $810. Dealership bank $810. Your original $1,000 magically turns into $10,000 of circulating credit. The bank created new money out of thin air.
This system requires constant growth and constant debt. Debt is literally what creates the currency we use every single day.
If everyone on Earth paid off their debts tomorrow, almost all the money in the world would simply vanish from existence.
That's why today, money is mostly digital. Only about 10% of the global money supply exists as physical paper and coins. The rest is just data on a server. It's an accounting system, a digital ledger keeping track of who owes what to whom. So let's pause and summarize. Money is a tool to exchange human time. It is a digital ledger of debt. Once you truly understand this, your entire behavior changes. You stop trading your time for cash just to hoard it in a vault. Instead, you focus on velocity. You use cash to buy machines, skills, or properties that generate more cash on autopilot. There are 3 steps to this game. Step 1, earn. You have to exchange your skills for that initial capital to get into the game.
Step 2, protect. You have to guard that capital from inflation and taxes. This means understanding tax codes and finding legal shelters.
Step 3, multiply. You deploy your protected capital into the marketplace to acquire assets that pay you while you sleep. Let's talk about the future. Because the nature of money is shifting again right in front of our eyes. We are leaving the fiat era. For the first time in human history, technology has created decentralized digital scarcity, a ledger that no central bank or government controls. Cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, attempt to solve the inflation problem. It has a hard-capped supply. No one can print more of it. It combines the scarcity of physical gold with the portability of an email. Whether you love it or hate it, it is a mathematical revolution. Governments are reacting. They are developing CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, programmable money that they can track entirely. This will give authorities unprecedented control. They could theoretically put an expiration date on your money, forcing you to spend it. The battle over the next decade isn't just about how you make money. It's about what type of money you choose to hold. You need to think like a chess master. Stop looking at the board as it is today and start anticipating where the pieces will be tomorrow. The middle class gets trapped because they believe money is the end goal. They think becoming a millionaire means having $1 million in cash.
To the ultra-wealthy, having $1 million in cash is a liability. Having $10 million in debt secured against cash-flowing real estate is the goal. The education system was designed during the Industrial Revolution to produce factory workers. It was never designed to teach you financial literacy.
If you rely on traditional schooling to teach you how to be wealthy, you will die poor. You have to take control of your own financial education.
It starts with mastering the terminology. Learn what an asset actually is. Learn the difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt pays for your lifestyle and drains your pocket. Good debt buys assets that pay for your lifestyle and fill your pocket.
Every single day you wake up is a new opportunity to reallocate your energy. Stop trading your time for a depreciating illusion. The greatest asset you will ever own isn't real estate or stocks. It is your own mind. Money flows to those who solve problems at scale. If you want to make $1 million, you simply need to solve $1 million problem. Produce more than you consume. Create value instead of just buying it. Shift your identity from a consumer to a producer. We've covered the history of barter, the rise and fall of the gold standard, the reality of fiat, and the digital future. You now know the truth. Money is just a scorecard. It is a measurement of trust, time, and stored human energy. The illusion is broken. The matrix is exposed. Now that you know how the game is played, the only question left is, are you going to keep playing by the old rules? Or are you ready to build true generational wealth? If you want to master this game, you need the right strategies. Hit subscribe, follow for more, and let's get to work.